Hello, my name is Nea and welcome to Crafts and Dresses. And it's finally a Halloween season, so I really wanted to make something special this time since it is one of my favorite holidays. I love everything spooky, dark. I love fall in general, so yeah, this is really the time of the year when I'm blooming, so to speak. So I figured we could do something not too cheesy, but something kind of in my style. I like cozy things as well, but I also like dark things. So I was kind of trying to think what would be something in between and also have a little elements of craftiness. So I came up with this idea of making a pumpkin covers workshop. But since we're working in a really little space, I really needed to think this through to make sure I can fit everything in. And right here, now I'm just going through all of the clock parts, thinking what I can keep and what I need to just throw away. And I actually sketched out the idea. And here you can see we have a little stool with pumpkin on it, some windows and stuff on the background, and more pumpkins as well as some plants. I'm not sure if we can fit everything, probably not, but we just need to go ahead and try our best. So I'm gonna be starting with the floor, and for this I'm gonna be using some scrap cardboard that I had, and just gonna measure the insides of the clock, see how big of a piece I need to cut out for my floor piece. And this project is really gonna be like a mixture of measurement and eyeballing, and I feel like that's my style in general when doing miniatures. I don't want to be too crazy about or too specific about scale, because I don't think life in general works in scale. I don't believe in that in a way. Can you say that? I don't know. But anyway, I'm just eyeballing it and using some items as like a guide, like this little stool we're gonna be using. And it's actually from a former kit that I had, but I decided to just destroy it and put it in pieces and reuse the pieces that I got from it, and the stool was one of those. So I'm just gonna use that to eyeball the height of the room, as well as our special guest for this project, who's gonna be Muddy McBurrows from the Sylvanian families, McBurrows mole family. I made him this little custom outfit. So he's gonna be in this project, our pumpkin carver, like the owner of the workshop. And yeah, he's a kid, but he fits the clock the best. So we can just like imagine that he's not actually a child. But yeah, I wanted to make a wooden floor, and I had two options: to use coffee stir sticks or just popsicle sticks. And here I'm just kind of eyeballing which one looks the best scale-wise, as well as like when it comes to the thickness, because the height is really, like, we don't have that much height, so I don't want to put any extra millimeters that are not needed. So coffee stir sticks are clearly more thin, so I'm gonna go ahead with those and just get my miter shears and start cutting them in pieces so I can make the planks for the floor. I'm not really measuring here anything because I want the floor to look like rustic, a bit irregular. So I'm just gonna go ahead, chop the sticks in pieces, and then later on just assemble them in a way that it makes it look more like authentic, if you can say. And here I'm just eyeballing if my idea is gonna work. And then I'm just gonna pick my beloved tacky glue and go ahead and start gluing the pieces together. And very lightly just tapping the glue all over the sticks and then assembling them one at a time to the cardboard piece. And I'm not too worried about the excess parts right now. I think it's better to have them just hang there, because it's easier to move them around if I need to before the glue dries. So I'm just gonna leave the excess pieces to hang there before I cut them off. And assemble all the wood pieces. And I got really lucky because actually this was a perfect fit for my sticks. Wasn't planned at all. I just got lucky. But once I had all of them in, I decided to put some weight on it and leave it to dry out. And while that was drying, I figured it's perfect time to start carving our pumpkins. And for that, I'm gonna be using Fimo. And Fimo is like clay that hardens when you bake it. It's really easy to use, but I have to be honest, this is only my second time using it. Well, to be honest, I've used it as a kid, or like, yeah, I've used it as a kid before, but yeah, it's my second time using it as an adult, so let's just like bring down our expectations. Like, yeah, I'm just practicing here, and every time I take it out, I'm always shocked how hard this clay can first be. Like, I'm really struggling here. It took me quite a good while to soften this one, but it just needs some patience and warmth to actually make the clay soften. And eventually I came up with this ball. I used the bright orange and some brown and white to this mixture to get this pumpkin-y orange. And once I rolled it into a ball that fitted to the stool, I just took my plastic clay tool and started kind of like pushing some dents into it to make the pumpkin shape. Like, in a way, I had no idea what I'm doing here. I'm just gonna be honest. I was just going with it, trying to have fun and hope that it looks more like a pumpkin than a basketball. So yeah, but this clay is really easy to work with, so I was super happy about that. And also, since the pumpkins are not the tiniest things, it was a lot easier, because the last time I used this clay, I made flowers. And damn, that was difficult, so I don't think I'm gonna be trying that like anytime soon. But this technique worked really well. All the time I was just hoping that it would look more like a pumpkin, not a basketball. And in my opinion, it turned out great. Like, even though it's not baked yet, or it doesn't have any details, but I feel like we're getting there, you know? So I got really good confidence boost out of that, and decided to like try and shade it a little bit with some chalk pastels. I've seen some people do this on YouTube. I've been watching some videos before I attempted to try this, and I've seen people tone their clay really well with chalk pastels, but I don't know, mine are pretty cheap ones, and I don't think they really made a big difference. So yeah, I tried it, but I wasn't like a big fan of it. I think the best way to me is just to paint them afterwards. But yeah, I went ahead and made a few different ones in kind of like different shades as well, because I wanted to have variation, but nothing too extreme. Like, I couldn't make two-toned ones. I was thinking about it, but I figured that maybe I'm too much of a beginner for that. They still needed something though, so I figured to mix this green tone to make some stems, and I just rolled a little ball and then started rolling it into a kind of like this long, thin, stemmy stick, which I could then turn into something to look like pumpkin. I don't know, do pumpkins have vines? No, they just have stems. But yeah, I don't know, I've grown pumpkins myself, and I can't remember suddenly. But yeah, anyway, I figured I want to do something curly to the greenery to make it look whimsical and fun. So I just rolled the clay around this little stick tool that I had, and then attached it on the top of one of the pumpkins. And in my opinion, it worked out really well. It's actually really fun and yeah, whimsy, exactly what I was going for. For the next one, I wanted to make more of like a little stem that had been cut off. So a really simple classic one, just roll a little piece first, and then with my crafting knife, I went ahead and just cut off the part that I needed before just putting it on top of the pumpkin. And with the rest, I rolled it to be ready for the actually it's the fourth pumpkin. But I didn't assemble it yet because I figured it's maybe better to carve the face first. And I made some ideas, but I wanted to go with quite natural looks, so I decided to do kind of like more of a, I feel like there's something eerie about this face, like when it's like so neutral. So I pushed the eyes with the back of the paintbrush, just really carefully because the clay is still soft, and it's easy to also push too much, if you know what I'm saying. So yeah, and with this sticky pointy tool, I just carefully started shaping the nose, or like the hole for the nose. It would be really fun to try and make a pumpkin that would be hollow from the inside, so you could put a little light in it, but I knew I'm not skilled enough yet for that. For the mouth, I took this little tool and like pushed first some dots, made a couple rows, and then just started like dragging it to make that liney, neutral mouth. Eventually I fixed up the nose a little bit before I was like really happy with the look. And yeah, I'm surprised how well this turned out. Like it was surprisingly easy. I was really scared while doing this because I was afraid I have to like restart the whole pumpkin if I like screw up. But yeah, I was really happy with the face, and then I just curled up the stem as well, just like I did with the first pumpkin before assembling it on top of the little cute face. And there it goes. So cute. And now they are ready to put in the oven. While they were baking, I figured we can continue with our floor, and at this point I decided I already cut off the excess parts, and now it was just the time to sand it. So I sanded the edges all around, make sure they're nice and clean, and also decided to sand the top part because I wanted it to be even. And also when you sand the top part, you get the sawdust kind of in between the blanks, and that kind of hides some of the gaps between those. So it's a really good way to like make it look more smooth and even. So yeah, always sand the top part as well. And at this point I decided it's good time to like test it out, fit it in and see if it's wide enough or too wide. And as you can see, it's sticking out a bit. So I figured it's best to just cut off the excess. And since coffee stir sticks are really thin and I only used like thin cardboard, I was like able to just do it with old scissors. If you use anything thicker, I wouldn't recommend using scissors because you might just like destroy them. But yeah, I was happy the scissors worked really well and made it fast and easy. After that, I took some watered down brown paint and started painting the floors. I wanted this old rustic look on the floor panels, and yeah, like brown is my favorite color, so I don't think I'm ever gonna make a miniature where I don't have brown wooden floors because they just look so amazing in my opinion. So yeah, this to me it's like really classic Nea look to just do the brown wooden floor. I added some more dark shades to the edges because whenever you're working with miniatures, it's really good to add some extra shadow or dimension with like playing with the dark paints and angles, since miniatures rarely like cast their natural shadow their own. And I think little details like that add always so much extra, especially like when working with small spaces. So yeah, now I'm just trying it out with this little cardboard piece that I like cut out to be the back piece, just to make sure it actually fits nicely and I can comfortably move forward with the project. So yeah, this circle is gonna be our back piece, and I had a couple of papers to try out to be the black plash. I was first thinking about this wooden kind of thing, but it had some green glitter shimmer kind of thing on it, so I wasn't really sure like if I liked it. Then I also had this red brick that was maybe more of the vibe. Here I'm just trying out if it works with the shade of the wood that I have and that little wheel thingy that I was thinking for the background as well. And yeah, I thought the brick looked good, so I just decided to go ahead and glue it in to the cardboard piece. And yeah, just the final little reassurance that I actually like it. Yep, it was good. Then after that, I decided I still have some time before the pumpkins are ready, so I decided to get those little excess pieces of our floor and make a little box on the floor where to put some of the pumpkins so I could get some height differences to the scene. And I figured there's a good little gap behind our little mole where we could do this. So it's gonna be really hidden, but it's gonna help a lot for some of the pumpkins to pop out and actually be more visible. So I'm just gonna make a teeny tiny box, really simple, just eyeballing it here, not gonna do anything too crazy, and just using scrap pieces of wood. Like the top of the box is just some random piece of some kit that I've gotten like years ago probably. So I'm just gonna go ahead, stick the pieces of the coffee stir sticks to the little top part and yeah, make a little box. And once that was done, I was able to set it down to try out and then move on to working on the chair that we're having. So like I said, this was from this kit that I had before, but I originally painted it black and I felt like it was a bit too dark or like not aged enough, to be honest. So I decided to dry brush some brown paint on it to add more character, if you will. Just like do some spatchy weird layer of brown and whites to like create that age and interest in it. I think it also adds a nice little texture, so yeah, it really changed the look of this chair in my opinion. But yeah, really simple paint job, and also a technique I use all the time. Yeah, looks good with the floor tone. So yeah, we can set that down and move on to the next thing. Now our pumpkins are ready and they are hardened and yeah, they look really good, but they are kind of lacking dimension. And so I decided that since the chalk pastels didn't work that well, I think we should just go ahead and paint them somehow. Maybe just to add some shadow and make the carved parts of the carved pumpkin to pop better. So I mixed this like really dark brown paint. I know it looks black on the camera, but it's really dark brown because I didn't want too crazy of a contrast. So yeah, I just went ahead with a small paintbrush, painted all the holes just to finish off the illusion of the carved face here. And yeah, in my opinion, it turned out pretty cute. It's close enough to the sketch that I had in my mind. So yeah, I went ahead and also did some details and shadows with watered down lighter brown. And I did this to all of the pumpkins as well. And yeah, really simple, but also added some more life to the pieces. And this is how they eventually turned out. Here you can see like in the broad daylight, they're not maybe that perfect, but it's fine because they're gonna be in shadowy little clock. I still really like them, considering this is my second time. It's good enough. Like I don't want to be too harsh on myself. This little face is my favorite though. I think this one turned out so well. So yeah. Now I felt confident enough to move on to the next phase, which is working beneath the floor. So for this, I found these little spiders from our local supermarket for only €1, and now I have so many of them. So I really need to like figure out how to make the best use of them. So this project I think is going to be perfect for that. So underneath the floor, where is this gonna be this huge gap, I figured we could do kind of like basement spooky spider house. And for some spider webs, I figured would be great to use these old wool pieces that I have, because I realized if you really like try to tear them open a little bit, it kind of looks like a spider web, don't you think? Yeah. So since we're working beneath the floor, I thought the spider cobwebs would be probably dusty and dirty. So I figured I want to go with the gray tone this time, but also add some greenery just to make it more interesting, you know, and also to hide the black paint underneath. So I went on, dabbed some glue in it, and took this colored moss that I had and just started dabbing it in, trying to like hide the little screws that comes from the legs. I don't know if you've seen them, but yeah, the clock has little legs and the screws come through. So I tried to like hide the screws with this greenery before actually adding any of the wool on top of it. And this was actually so much fun. I really loved this part because it was just like dabby dabby dab dab dab, some greenery in it and eyeballing if it looks cute and spooky and odd. And I think whenever working with piece like this, eyeballing is really the main key. So like you can see me testing the floor with this multiple times, because yeah, you kind of have to. Here I'm just dabbing, gluing in the little piece of wool, and then doing a final checkup before adding also the spiders in it. And I figured since this is kind of beneath the floor, that I don't want them to be too obvious. Like I kind of wanted it to be like a little Easter egg. So you can't really see them unless you really look into it. Like you can see here, like they are quite subtle and I really like that. So yeah, just a little teeny tiny detail to those who actually take time to look really into it. So yeah, now I'm just checking for the final time if I'm happy with the height of the floor before gluing in also the floor and then starting with the interior. So I'm just gonna tap 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 glue again to the sides before assembling the floor inside the clock. Really carefully this time, because I don't want to smear any glue to the glass or too much to the sides of the clock. So yeah, I'm starting from the top part and then going down slowly and surely, and then assembling, making sure the floor is actually straight and looks nice. And you can see there is some excess glue on the sides, but yeah, it was really hard not to make that mess. So I figured let's make it look intentional and add more glue to the sides and also to the back part, and then glue in some green foliage to make it look like this is also like the nature has already started growing into the workshop. Because in my mind this workshop is kind of like outdoor one where you just do your woodworking and stuff like that. So it would make sense that within time maybe there would be some mold moss. That sounds super healthy, I know, but you know, something like that. Next, I wanted to paint the box as well as this little wheel thing that I had. I actually broke one piece of it, but I thought it's fine. I can hide that part to the background. So really quick, just gonna give them both like brown paint job and age them out a little. At first I was thinking about using a window or like making some sort of a window on the back wall, but the one that I had for that actually also broke. Yep, I'm clumsy. So I'm happy I found this wheel, and like it kind of was just giving off the same vibe. So I thought that would be fun. And to make it more folly, I decided to add some flowers. So I have a lot of flowers and obviously these spiders. So I wanted to add some and make kind of like a wreath decoration piece. Like you could think of it as a like barrel wheel. That's just, is it barrel? No, wagon wheel. That's just on a display on a wall with some fall-ish flowers. So that was kind of the idea behind that. Again, something really rustic and like that brings countryside to my mind. And sunflowers are actually one of my favorite flowers, so that's also why I've been making some. These are made with tissue paper, and I think at some point I will like film a tutorial how to make sunflowers really fun and easy way at home. I also have these like purchased dried flowers that are being colored, so I picked some yellows and oranges and whites from there just to add more volume to the flower wreath thingy. I don't really know what to call this decoration piece. Maybe it's a wreath, even though it's really not. It's unfinished wreath. I don't know. But yeah, I'm just eyeballing where I wanted the flowers to go, added some of the small ones, and then yeah, there's a lot of excess glue, but yeah, that just happens sometimes. At this point, I figured let's just add one more spider to the more visible place as well, because you know, it's old building. There's spiders. Then I figured a little carver will need some sort of a tool, so I got the Sylvanian family's butter knife, and to make it look less butter knifey, I painted the handle black, put just some few layers of paint, and then I let it dry while I started assembling the room. And this was obviously the best part, because I feel like now we started to really see how it turns into life. But of course, here I also made a little mistake that I put too much glue, so I got a little excess. So I decided just to like go ahead, add more greenery to hide the like worst of it. After that, it was just all about gluing in the rest of the pieces, except of course our little mole, Muddy McBurrows. I did not want to glue him in because I might want to switch the character at some point, or I might want to display him somewhere else. So just to protect his flocking, I decided to use museum wax instead. That's a removable wax that doesn't harm the flocking and still makes him like stand up forward so he doesn't fall over when I move the clock around. So yeah, that's why I went with the wax. And now we're finally reaching the best part. So putting in our little mole, adding the final details, and showing you the final result. I'm really happy how this project turned out. It looks really good on my shelf, and I hope you guys also like it. Please leave a comment down below what you think. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I hope to see you next time. Bye!